What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask Kinda Funny Games Anything for the month of May 2017. If you've ever watched one of these videos, the idea is simple. You ask us anything and we respond. But what happens is over on patreon.com, we post, or I guess patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Now, you can't just go to patreon.com and expect to find this post without doing some research. Patreon.com/kindafunnygames, we post over there saying, hey, it's that time of the month. Ask us anything. We put it up in the beginning of the month. You guys see who's going to be on the show. It's me or Tim or Nick or Andy or any of the different people. And then you post questions there. And then at the end of the month, we answer those questions here in this video that you're watching right now. So this is the games version. There's a Kinda Funny version over on youtube.com/kindafunny. That's about all I have to say about that. Let's get to the questions. First question from patreon.com/kindafunnygames comes from Joey Finelli. Finelli is what we're going to say. Finelli. Joey says, what is one video game you never finished but wished you had? I'll give you two. The knee-jerk reaction was Vanquish. Played Vanquish, liked Vanquish, then I was late to the party. Clements was always talking about how great Vanquish was. When I finally sat down to play Vanquish, I might have been for Game of the Year when we were back at IGN. And it was like, okay, cool, I'll play it. Played a little bit of it, loved what I played, never got back to it, just went on. Vanquish, not a long game, I could get back to it. The real answer, straight up answer, Catherine. Catherine, of course, from the Persona team over there, an Atlas game, came to PS3, was awesome. The problem with Catherine was, it's really long, like a lot of the games from Atlas/Persona team. And my problem was that I started it, loved it, played a whole bunch of hours of it, and then went on a work trip for, like, it might have been E3. I was like gone for a long time. I want to say I was gone for a week. And when I came back, I could not remember how to play because Catherine's fucking hard. It's really, really hard. And it's like, you know, building the puzzle or whatever, climbing up the things. You got to use like the tornado method, I remember, for these different blocks. I totally fucked myself, I want to say 30 hours in, and did not remember how to play anymore, and I didn't want to restart it, and I didn't want to sit there and struggle and watch tutorials or whatever, and so I was like, fuck, bye, Catherine, and never, ever picked it up again, never beat it. I feel like a horse's ass for that one, because Catherine was so good, and I would like to have beaten it, but I didn't, but maybe one day I'll get a PS4 remaster. I don't want to play it through PS Now, but I could do that too, I guess. Right? It's probably on there. I think it's on there. Sal Raman. Sal says, I know this question has been asked so many times, but I would love an in-depth opinion from my homie, Mr. Greg. I honestly have absolutely zero hype and or reason to purchase an Xbox. I own a PS4 and Switch, and their software is killing it, especially PS4. Do you honestly believe Scorpio will move numbers without any new and solid IP, and is Xbox in trouble? I don't ever like to say trouble. Xbox is in a very precarious and interesting position. The problem they face right now is, as we go down, we're heading here, we're on the road to E3, as all the sites would like to tell you. Scorpio is going to be revealed there. Great. The thing is that they've kind of fucked it up, right? In the way that I have an Xbox One. I like it fine. I bought it knowing it'd be like my exclusives machine, and I'd play, mainly on my PS4 for trophies, and now with my Switch, I'm playing on the road all the time. The problem is they've just canceled games, and the exclusives they have put out haven't been like the best thing in the world in terms of reception or critical praise or moving numbers. You know what I mean? Halo and Gears don't do what they used to in terms of market share, mind share. They do really well in terms of numbers. We've seen NPDs, we've seen those stats. But like Quantum Break, right, was a new IP. I was super into it. A lot of people weren't. Granted, it was still a holdover of like the old Xbox One mindset of TV and games merging into one experience. I think that burned a lot of people, and that's why when Phil Spencer came in, was able to turn it around and make it about games again. But the fact of the matter is, what do they have for games this year, right? Like E3 is riding on Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, and State of Decay 2. I love State of Decay 2. It's gonna be hard to be like, here's the Xbox One, here's why it matters. State of Decay 2. I love State of Decay 2, or what I love State of Decay. We'll see if we can actually do that. The real trouble they have is, yes, what all this means to Scorpio, because it's all interrelated, right? I, of course, pulled the trigger right away, bought my Xbox One day and date, had it on launch day, had the PlayStation 4 on launch day, I wanted all that stuff. And like when they released the Xbox One Slim, right, I wasn't like, oh, I need to go get that. Of course not. Mine works, and even if it didn't, I don't play it enough to justify getting another one right now. And so I think that's what they're going to be at with Scorpio, is the fact is, today on the morning show, somebody was asking me about, do you think Crackdown is going to move over to be a Scorpio game, ditch the whole idea of using the cloud to make the game better and use the core processing and teraflops of the Scorpio. You can't do that, because then you are into the Wii U Zelda situation, right? Of like, well, sure, Zelda should have just been put on Switch probably, but you can't offend every Wii U owner who bought it for that reason or held onto it for that reason. E3, not only at E3 does Xbox have to say, here's a Scorpio and here's why it's awesome, they have to say, here's what's coming to your Xbox One, making Xbox One still relevant so that you're not burned by Xbox and then go fuck Scorpio. Because that's how it could go, right? Is if Xbox doesn't have big announcements and doesn't have big games and doesn't have any goodwill going into the Scorpio launch, why would anybody buy Scorpio? Right now, I'm at the fact of like, not knowing what Scorpio is. Is Scorpio just a PlayStation 4 Pro, at which point I wouldn't be super interested in it to begin with, or is it like truly another step, iteration, whatever the fuck you want to call it? They have to do two things. They have to support two platforms, and they have to knock it out of the park on both of them. I think think about it this way, if, Scorpio is just a more powerful thing, it's the next Xbox, but it's not the next Xbox, but there's going to be games that are amazing on it, but you know what I mean? Then it would have been a slam dunk in the same way it should have been a slam dunk for PlayStation 4 Pro, but the messaging was so hard. Now the messaging is even harder on the Xbox side, because it is, how do I message this while also saying that everything's great over here? Like, do you come out and hat in hand and be like, yeah, we've canceled some games, we've done that, but we have like 5 exclusives that are going to blow your mind. Here they are. And then they look better and run better on Scorpio kind of thing. I don't know. It's just, they're not in trouble. They're just, they've really got, they can afford to make no mistakes at E3. E3 has to be from top to bottom fucking awesome on the Xbox front. Otherwise, it's going to sting even worse than just a normal E3 where you're like, oh, PlayStation had a better conference and Nintendo did something cool. This has to be, hey, we're proving the validity and the reason you have these two different platforms on the market and why they matter. It's a tall order. I think that Phil Spencer and his team are up to it. I think they are smart folks. I think they have a good eye for games. I like the team. And so you'd like to think that there's just a lot of stuff behind the scenes in terms of like, we have this, we have that. Let's get ready, get all the ducks in a row, and then come out and execute at E3. And that's why it's been quiet on the Western front in terms of, well, what Crackdown and State of Decay, that's fine, but what is the next big Xbox thing? We'll have to wait till E3 and find out. Nicholas Price says, hey, Greg, you often mention you would make a kick-ass Superman game. What would your Superman game look like? Nicholas Price, this is a long-running kind of funny, not gag, I should say, but idea of, hey, I want to make a Superman game, and I want to make a pitch video for it, very much like Max Landis' pitch videos when he pitches a movie or something, or when he did The Death and Return of Superman. Not that comedic and fun, because I don't want to have that much time, but I actually want to stand and do a teleprompter read of what my Superman game is. I'm not going to show you my hands here. I'm not going to tip my cards, but that video is still on my to-do list. I will make it. I'd like to say I'll have it by the end of 2017, but you know what? Fuck it. We'll have it by the end of 2017. For you. I'll do it for you, Nicholas Price. It will happen. I will not let the video go into the darkness. Morgan K gave a tip. Morgan K left a comment on this here. Kind of funny Patreon Q&A. Ask me anything. Hey, big sexy. Ooh. Congrats to you and your lady Marmalade on recently tying the knot. Wish you both all the happiness in the world. Smiley emoji. Thank you very much. If you don't know, I married the love of my life, Genevieve Saint-Onge Miller. Now, with the Switch being out and having a lot of time with it, have you touched your Vita since? Do you think it has replaced the greatest handheld on earth? What I'm really trying to ask you is, is the Vita dead to you? Love you, Morgan. Morgan, the Vita is not dead to me. The Vita will never die to me. Very excited to have Oceanhorn on it now. I have that other game. Crap. I got Oceanhorn, and then there's the Rose in the Twilight. Is that right? I've had it on my desk forever, but I have a digital code version of it. Both of those are on the Vita, locked and loaded, ready to go. The real reason my Vita... So to answer your question, have I touched my Vita since the Switch came? I've touched it to move it around. I haven't touched anything to play it. Time's been so scarce in this run-up to Kinda Funny Live 3, to getting married, to moving, to business changes, to everything else. Gaming has been very limited, which I hate. And so when I'm on the road, usually I'm working on planes now or sleeping. When Mario Kart first got it was just Switch. Then I had Zelda and stuff like that. I've let that be the thing. The Vita's usually with me. It's just not getting played. But now that there are things that I need to play on it, I need to get to it. I need to get the Oceanhorn going on it. Vita's not dead to me. I don't think Vita ever will be dead to me. I just got the Vita Mag, the one I like. It's called the Vita Mag. They put out one of their special editions. That's the 100 greatest Vita games, and they ranked them all. I don't agree with their number one. Killzone Mercenary, guys, come on. Persona's number 2. Come on. But even paging through that, there's just a bunch of stuff on there that I haven't played. That's just in my back catalog that I, either haven't played it or didn't get it or whatever. So I need to go through and see that. But the Vita will be around for me a long time. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the upper hand it has on the Switch is the fact that there's just such a vast library of Vita games to play still. And so while Switch gets its legs and and then eventually gets its arms, you'll still kick around the Vita. I'll still kick around the Vita. That's what it's all about. Fuck, I love the Vita. What a great system, you know? Josh M. Hi, Greg. Congrats on the marriage. It's heartwarming to see you two so happy. I'm generally a PlayStation and Xbox guy, but I got a Switch release day and I am loving it. I am surprised by a couple of things though. The first is no trophies. I'm not a big trophy/achievement guy, but I think it would be awesome to get some little award when playing, especially once they finally roll out virtual console games. The second is more dealing with online play. I know it was announced before, but no chat in 2017 is crazy. Playing Mario Kart 8 or Splatoon with regular audio chat would be awesome. I'm also shocked by how poor the servers seem. Mario Kart 8 online disconnects, especially when compared to the PS or Xbox One. So my question is this: are these things we should be dismayed about? I love the Switch and hoped it was Big N finally coming into the present. With some of these issues, I'm not so sure. I feel like once online play is money, they need to be held to the same standard as Xbox One or PlayStation or PSN or Xbox Live. Thoughts in general? Thank you for your time, Greg. Much love to you and the entire Kind of Funny fam. Josh. Well, no, Josh, thank you. You raise good points. I think it is also one of those things of what matters to you as a gamer, really. The trophies achievement system not being there, right? For me, it always seemed like a no-brainer to have it there. Then they didn't do it. And I personally was the mind of like, all right, whatever. Like I love trophies on the PSN. I don't really care about my Xbox achievements. So getting Switch achievements, I don't think would have changed that for me in terms of like, oh man, I'm enjoying this so much more. Mario Kart having, gold Marios and all these different things to go through and hang gliders and cars and stuff like that. That motivates me to play that game over and over again, right? I just want to get invested in it again. Trophies are where I'm going to be invested. But even that, I feel like, again, as I was talking in this video about being short on time now, it's one of those things. I hit level 30 in trophies, and like, that was a good round. That is a good round number to the point of I was playing Marvel Heroes Omega this weekend or whatever, right? And it wasn't until like 5 hours in, I was like, oh, what do trophies look like? Because we talked about those in the morning show, and I was like, I'm not going to ever platinum this game. But now that I'm playing it and I'm invested, what else do I need to do? And you pop in, you look at them, but it's like, now for me, that boulder's rolling up the hill. That's such a steep incline of like, well, it takes a lot to move the percentage points when you get that high in trophy levels. It's like, that's a good number for me. Not that I'm saying I'm leaving trophies by any matter. I'm just not frothing at the mouth to go get them in the same way I was. But that ebbs and flows. There's times where I think I'm totally done, like, oh, whatever. And then then I'm playing Coffin Dodgers at 4 a.m. Why? Easy platinum. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. So for the Nintendo side, it didn't matter to me. I understand why it matters to some, but I think clearly as it's the best-selling Nintendo console they were talking about, right? It doesn't matter to the majority of people. That's not something there. And also, I kind of find it liberating after being so addicted to trophies on PSN that I don't have to worry about that on Nintendo, but that's just me. In terms of the online play, yeah. Online's got to get its shit fucking together. It's ridiculous, like when that thing disconnects or does whatever or drops. And right now it's kind of like, oh, whatever. I'm playing a handheld and it's dropping, whatever. It is going to be fucking crazy when I'm paying for it and that's happening. Then yeah, that can't happen. And it's the same thing. The voice chat thing doesn't matter too much to me when we play, when I'm playing online, I'm usually doing it for a stream with the kids. So I'm playing on Discord anyway. So I have everybody there to talk to, but it is kind of weird that it doesn't have it built in, but Nintendo's always been family oriented, blah, blah. For me, it is the idea of it being a shitty service and not connecting. That's the big part. Tech problems rather than the missing tech features are more offensive to me, especially when you start paying. But we'll have to see what happens when we get there. Also, hopefully, this isn't what they envision for Switch Online. It's just like, hey, we ported over the Mario game. This is how the online's always worked. Now we're just going to move it over there. But who the fuck knows? Cassidy Coyote, however you want to pronounce it. Do you and Genevieve Saint-Onge Miller, a.k.a. Jen Miller, play co-op /multiplayer /any games together often? Or do you game separately? Have you Overcooked or Mario Karted together yet? And how quickly do you think it will tear the two of you apart? Well, Jen and I were in a long-distance relationship for quite some time. So in terms of do we play a lot of co-op games together, we haven't, no. What we're more inclined to do is one of us plays and the other chills out. And so this past weekend, right? I wanted to play more Marvel Heroes. She's like, that game is not interesting to watch. I will not watch you play that. You can play that when I do something else. Instead, how about what else do you have? And I'm like, I have Prey. And she's like, I'll start Prey. And so I'm playing through Prey with her next to me, you know, reading or checking her email every so often, but more importantly, watching it, talking to me, like, oh, what's going to be that? You know, do you think you're in space? Yada, yada, yada. This early Prey stuff. And so, like, we enjoyed that. Mario Kart, we have played together. When I went and picked her up in Montreal and then flew back, we spent that 6-hour plane ride with the Switch in between us, me on the Pro Controller, her on the, you know, Joy-Con grip, playing and having a great time. So we do that. But I think, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting as, you know, our relationship evolves and our marriage matures to see who plays what and when. And, you know, are we going to play like stuff like Borderlands together again or what? Like, I know she wants me to play. She had started at her place back home with a roommate. Her roommate was playing Resident Evil 7. She was watching along with that while he played it. I think she wants me to jump back in because she wants to see how it ends. So I need to play Resident Evil 7 again, which then I thought maybe I'll get trophies. And then I was like, maybe I'll platinum it. And then we're right back to the last topic where I say I'm over trophies, but I am thinking about that. But that's a lot of work. But we'll see. I don't think it'll tear us apart because it's just how it is. I mean, she, you know, sucks it up during Mario Kart when I'm just fucking destroying her. But, you know, she feels good when she gets second place in that game because she understands I'm a Mario Kart god, as so many of you do as well, because you've seen the skills. You've seen me clown out people. You've seen me destroy just every competitor ever possible on Twitch. Next up, Jason Bond. Jason Bond says, do you think Nintendo will ever pull the trigger and just turn Mario Kart into Nintendo Kart? I feel like it's getting closer. I feel like it's already getting close to this and would meet an ever larger audience than it already does. This is something I honestly, this is going to sound stupid, I know. This is such an in-the-weeds video game thing that we worry about that I don't think the general public has any idea that it's not Nintendo Kart. Especially now with Link and everybody else being in this, you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. As a Mario Kart fan, it never even really dawned on me that, like, oh, right, like, Smash has all these characters that are from different Nintendo properties, and this one's sticking to the Mushroom Kingdom until recently. And so I don't know if there's other people out there who are really worried about that, because Kart's just so much fun in terms of what it does and how it plays, right? I think the next Kart you see, yeah, it'll be like this from the get-go. You'll have Link and stuff in there, and it will be Nintendo Kart, but I don't think they're ever going to change the name. I just don't think that enough people are hung up on, wow, man, fuck, Nintendo Kart, that means I can't be the Ice Climber, or Mario Kart, I can't be the Ice Climber as well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you'll ever see it go full Smash, but I think you'll continue to see the walls fall down. I think it'll be majority Mario people, but one day it'll get there. Israel C. Hey, Greg. Hope you and the crew are having a good day. Been editing this question a couple of times now with no question feeling right. Was going to ask about VR, but questions just feel forced, so screw it. I'll just go with the flow here. What game unexpectedly captured your heart and left you feeling all warm inside? I would say Puppeteer for me. So charming. Would have been a good PS4 launch title, but tech-wise, I can see why don't went with Knack. But tech-wise, I think you're trying to say I can see why they went with Knack. Oh, man. What game unexpectedly captured her? See, I don't know if unexpectedly is ever the right word, right? Because unexpected, I have to know so much about games. The tired answer is Gone Home. I've talked about that a million times, that I knew nothing about Gone Home, played Gone Home. By the end of it, was like, holy shit. Went and hugged the ex-girlfriend. She was my ex at the time. Went and hugged her, right? Because I was like, whoa, this just touched me in a very interesting way. But then, I mean, the other one that jumps to mind is Unfinished Swan, but I had been following the Unfinished Swan's journey, right, for so long that I thought that game was going to be right up my alley and be special, and sure enough, when I sat down to play it, it was. Those are the two answers, but they're you know, tried and true. I'm trying to come up with something new, something clever, something you haven't heard. When I think about, like, games that touched me, and I'm like, oh, those are what comes to mind, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's them. Those are the games. Sorry if you've heard those stories before. Christopher J. Brennan. Hey, Greg. Congrats on getting married. Thank you. I'm going to E3 next month and was looking for tips. General tips on surviving E3, tips on what to do in LA, tips on places to eat, etc. Should I avoid eating at the convention? Not price-wise, but quality. Any insider info on what there is for the general public to do at E3? Possible to get into Sony conference on Monday night? Lots of questions, but trying to plan ahead of time. Appreciate the advice. 1000% do not eat at the convention center. They have a little food court right out in front. Do not eat there. Now, if you're in a pinch, you're in between appointments or something like that, they do a taco truck. They have a whole bunch of food trucks, actually, but the taco truck is one I can swear by. So you got the food court right out in front of the main hall. Then you'll go out, and there's the back alley that connects both the halls. You'll see a whole bunch of food trucks there. They will be mobbed with people all the time. You have to wait in line a long, long time, but that's better than the food court. If you want to go the opposite direction, go to LA Live, you can go to the Carvery. They got that Lowry's Carvery over there. Maybe Cravery? I can't remember which it is. It's where you go in there, get the roast beef sandwich, some steamed broccoli. You're feeling good. It's a good meal. Again, lines are going to be out the door for all these places. It's E3. It's a convention. Everybody's going to be fucking crazy there. Insider information on what there is for general public to do at E3, I have no fucking idea. I was talking to people at Judges Week about this. It's going to be very fascinating to see how this goes for the general public at E3. I have a feeling, if I was a betting man, I think the majority of people are going to come away not angry, but not fulfilled by this experience. Because you're not getting the E3 you think you're getting. You're, like you said, like, how do you get in the Sony conference Monday night? Sony usually does a whole, you can line up outside and they'll let a select number of fans in. The PlayStation blog will have information up about that. But that's the thing is, like, your ticket doesn't get you in the conferences. Once you're on the show floor, you're on the show floor, but most of the stuff you'd want, like, really want to see is going to be behind closed doors. And I don't even mean like behind closed doors, like, hey, you know, the press is going to go see this theater demo of Uncharted 4 or stuff like we did last year that Matt Scarpino built the room for. That's another level. I mean, you're going to get to booths and it's going to be like literally like a bunch of doors closed in your face, like, because maybe a few games outside, but even those games outside, there's a giant line for normal E3, let alone now general public E3. And the things on the floor for you to walk up and play, like the Sony booth, are never like the hot thing they just showed at the conference in terms of like AAA games. You're going to walk up and it's going to be like the insane trilogy for Crash Bandicoot, which is fine and good. And, you know, the indie games and all these the little things they're doing, not the big games. So I don't know what your E3 is going to be like. I don't know if booths and companies are taking it seriously enough with the number of tickets sold to make a big presence about, oh, here's our public area. Here's how this works. Here's what goes on here. I think it is going to be the thing that you're going to hear a lot of stories of people who are getting on a machine or whatever, but then they're, you know, whoever from Kotaku's coming by, they get to cut the line because they have to talk about it and they have to do all this different stuff. It's going to be interesting. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be a really well-oiled machine. Everybody's going to have a great time. You're going to play everything you want to. I don't know. I know Keely's doing the LA Live stuff over there. There's like panels and stuff. That's super interesting. But it's this weird thing of E3 isn't PAX. PAX is all about the consumer and all about you going there and having a great time, and everybody wants to give you freebies and take care of you and do that. I don't know if that same vibe will be at E3 because E3 has been for so many years the professional show. This is what's happening. We're talking about the future of our industry. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how business meets fandom here and what it actually comes out as. Nicole Humphrey gave a question here and says, hi, Greg. Oh, and sorry. Christopher said, and your other question was anything to do in LA. I don't know. No, I have nothing to tell you because E3 is not a fun trip for us. It's fun. I see a lot of video games, but it's wake up, go to the conference, run back to the hotel, go out to some event that night, probably have a few too many drinks with some people at that event or somewhere else, pass out, wake up and do it all over again, do it all over again, and then fly home. So like I've never actually just bummed around downtown LA and had fun. I know there's a Ralph's down there that I've bought stuff at before podcasts. The Carvery or Cravery is good. There's the Tonga room, I think's there. I've gone to parties there, but like I don't like it. Oh, there's a good taco truck. Not because there's the taco truck in the back of E3, and then there's the JW Marriott on the corner across the street is an empty lot. It's very scary, but there is a taco truck that parks there often, and it's good. Not great. But after I won that Game Award and I went back there, I got fucking drunk as shit at that Game Awards. I stumbled out of the Game Awards and went over there and got a burrito for like 2 a.m. burrito. It was good. French fries in it. Nicole Humphrey. Hi, Greg. What's your naughty bear? In other words, the game you know is terrible, but still enjoy playing. Ooh-wee. I think it's on my mind. It's not hit my tongue recently. I think Marvel Heroes Omega, right? Marvel Heroes Omega, not a bad game, but it is just bashing the shit out of all these enemies, right? And these waves and waves of enemies. Just it's like Dynasty Wars, right? I'm just getting my level up so I can get to do a new power so I can do this. It's not a bad game, but it's like a game where it's like junk food. Where I'm just like, I'm playing this and I'm having fun and I'm just enjoying leveling up and doing all this different stuff. It's not at all about a story or a narrative or gameplay or anything. It's just like, it's satisfying to do this, but it could be a mobile game. It could be a million different other things. It's just, I'm playing it. I'm just doing it. I'm enjoying it while I do it, but it's empty calories. I'm not walking away like, oh man, I'm not I'm neglecting Persona to play it, right? And clearly Persona is gameplay and story and graphic, and it's always like this complete package of awesomeness. Whereas Marvel here is like, it's fun to fucking be Jane Foster and throw the Thor's hammer around and fucking kill things and just do it over and over and over and over again. Always getting a little loot a little bit better and debating if that stat buff's good enough and watching my XP grow. It's just being goofy. I'm just a goon. Final question comes from RJ Davis. Hi. If you could only play one game for the rest of your life, which one would it be? But once you beat it and replay it, you would forget everything in the game and it would be a brand new experience. Interesting. I'd probably go Infamous, the original Infamous. Because I loved playing that so much, especially when I didn't know what it was. Not that I didn't know what it was, but when I didn't know what was around the next corner. I love comic books, as you know. I loved the presentation of that thing. I love the story. I love the story of the game. That'd be fun. And I would take it away and say, not beating it, but 100%ing it, platinuming it. Because I enjoyed getting that platinum, and I always had such great memories of trying to find that last blast shard, because Infamous 1 didn't have a way to find blast shards. Like, other than you could pulse for them, but it wasn't like obvious, you know what I mean? And I'll never forget at IGN I was digital photos of my TV screen and then going home with a red marker that night and redding out buildings as I went and staying up till like way too late. Couldn't find it. Had the whole map, crossed out, and the next day coming to IGN, I was bitching about it, showing somebody, and I just happened to pulse and I saw it off in the water. I was like, oh, ran over there, got the platinum, freaked out. At the time, I was the first person to platinum it. Now somebody on PSN profiles has it before me. I don't know how they did that. Voodoo magic. Because PlayStation confirmed on Twitter at the time that I was the first person to do it. And it was a big deal for me. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for asking your questions. Remember, if you want to be part of the show, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames or patreon.com/kindoffunny if you want to ask kind of funny questions. You go over there, first week of the month, we put up these things saying, hey, this is who's going to be on the Ask Us Anything. You leave your questions, then we make this video, then we put it up. You hear your name read aloud on youtube.com/kindoffunny or kindoffunnygames. You get your question answered. Everybody has a good time. You help us make the content. I got to go get ready for Kinda Funny Live 3. If you're watching this before June 3rd, shake that beautiful ass over to San Francisco. kindafunny.com/KFL3. Come party with us. If you're watching after Kinda Funny Live 3, I hope it went really well and nobody died. It's going to be morbid if somebody dies, isn't it? Shouldn't have said that probably. People always say that. Oh, you feel bad if somebody dies now? I'm like, not really. I'm not God. And it's not like I willed that to happen. I hope nobody gets $1 million at Kinda Funny Live. Now, if somebody gets $1 million at Kinda Funny Live, I made that happen because I'm your God. Now, if both of those things happen, then we got to talk about what I should and should not be wishing for at the end of Ask Me Anything videos. Bye!